You know, I went in for surgery on this one and said he couldn't do nothing for me. And he said, you're done bulldogging and you'll be lucky to rope, because I, broke the clavicle and I broke the ball joint in 5 places and, tore the rotator cuffs. And he says, just run the bands the best you can. But I stayed roping. I had to keep working, because that's what I do for a living. My name's Bradley Gerald Campbell. My nickname's BJ. I was born in Bishop, California, a little small town below Mammoth Lakes, Mammoth Mountain, June Lake. My dad was a horse trainer, cowboy, roper, steer wrestler. I got into that at a young age. I grew up with a high-strung grandpa. He said, if you make it to the 8th grade, that's good enough for us. And so me and my brother, we did quit school in the 8th grade and went to riding horses and jackpot team roping, rodeoing. My grandpa would haul us around, and my dad take us to these big ropings, when it first started getting big. And that's kind of where I got my starts, in Washington mainly. I was about 11 years old. I train a lot of horses. I've had 8 Horse of the Year PRCA horses that I've brought up through I call it a militage camp that I do. Can't really say that I broke them all from ground up, because you have to go buy them. A horse goes through different stages, and so that's where I really love to buy and sell horses. I sell a lot of horses, I sold, I don't know how many this year, 50, 60, somewhere in there, maybe 70. I used to rodeo full time for 17 years. I won 3 pickups, 50 saddles, and I don't know how many buckles, a couple 50-gallon drums full. I won a couple $1 million roping, so 500 at a time. So, if it's meant for me to go, I'll be there, and if it's not, then I'll just be, in Arizona where I love it. My place is paid off. My rigs are paid off, my kids homeschooled, my wife's in a breakaway. But I was thinking about cracking back out if things are lining up, Unfortunately, during the week I had to work, train horses. A lot of guys go rodeo on the weekend, they could rest, being most of them are from ranches, farms, So I was still, during the week, my body never got a rest. I used to ride 10 to 15 horses a day during the week. I always say Monday's my day off, but I would still ride 3, 4. I rode in the rain, snow, sun, wind, dust. That's where my body started taking a toll. 1 wreck leads into 2, then steer wrestling. I steer wrestled 17 years, and I started getting hurt when I was about 32. I broke this right shoulder in 5 places at San Angelo, Texas, and I didn't know it, and I kept going, just taking Banamine, whatever, to get through the day, but I just never did rest, and I think that was a huge part of my problem. My wife contacted Rachel because of me complaining all day long. And I was just at the point where I just trained horses, used a soft rope. I never thought I could ever heel a steer again. And no joke, because if you're going to heel at a high level pro rodeo, and you have to have a stiff rope, and you got to swing it hard, and you got to throw it hard. Heather's got with Rachel, and they got me in some appointment. We did the right shoulder first. 15 days later, I was back, using a little stiffer rope, feeling better. My arm wasn't going to sleep when I tried to go to bed, I used to have to pick it up off the bed and it would go numb. We waited 30 days, did the left one second. This one took a little more time. I don't know why, because this one's had more damage, but this one took more time. And then last month, I noticed it's way better. But what it does to me is I could start running bands and exercising, instead of laying around and complaining and looking for ibuprofen or a pain pill. I mean, I'll be honest with you, I couldn't even lift a milk jug. That's what it's done for me. I can exercise now. I can do push-ups where I hadn't done them in 13 years. But the way I swing a heel rope to bring it, it just wouldn't let me. And that's why I quit heeling a long time ago after I got hurt. But now, shoot, I'm craving it. I actually bulldogged a steer the other day. When my shoulders got to where I could lay on my side and sleep 8, 10 hours, and I could go out and rope without being a pain, it changed my mind. When you got to quit at 35 years old because your shoulders, I was depressed. I'm not going to lie to you. Now I'm not. Whether or not I ever go to too many rodeos or not, my shoulders had me to where I was sick of it, you know what I mean? I weighed 237 pounds, and now I'm down to about 210, you know what I mean? Because I could do something. When you go to lift a weight or to run a band and you can't, next thing you know, and then me and pain pills, we don't get along. To me, it was a good eye-opener, where I could go do what I want to do at 45 years old, go rope against whoever. I've been winning. I sent a friend of mine, Jim Parker, in there last summer, and he's tore up. It got him back going where he can saddle his own horse. He ropes a little bit, not a lot, but that was the reason I went in. I couldn't go out there. That's one thing I tell a lot of my friends that I've been sending over there. I said, listen, you still have to work at it. Once you get the information, everything in the healing process, you might get the bands, you might start eating right. You know what I mean? because you still have to work it because it's weak when you ain't been using it for years. You can't just stand around. So I've been able to run them bands now. I think you can get with it in 10 days. I could have done it the next day with this one. I had to go by some rules, which drove me crazy because I have not sat around for 10 days in my life. I have told a lot of my friends that are 30, 25, they get hurt riding bareback horses, bulldogging, car wreck. I've tried telling them, don't do that surgery, you know. I got family members that need a knee replacement. I said, try this, you know. I've sent a couple guys that needed knee replacement and their back haven't replaced it yet. What's wrong with trying this first? Because if you're out a year on a knee replacement, it's better to invest in this because you're out a couple weeks. Either way, you still got to do rehab. You have to work it. You have to take care of your body after it's been hurt. That goes along with junk food and everything else. You just can't do it because it goes right to the joint. I feel great. I feel better than I ever have. Like I said, I'm starting to get my shape back because, you know, I can move. Once they inject it, just got to wait. I'd wait 2 weeks and then get with it. I've had a lot of I had this one injected 4 times with cortisone to stay rodeoing. It was a Band-Aid and I was back sore shortly. I still try not to do something to injure it, you know, be dumb. You know, I don't ride the rank horses anymore. They'll do something stupid, pull back, yank you around, you know, and I started a lot of colts. I don't do that anymore. I feel like I rope as good as the top 15 right now. I think it's the best thing going. Like I said, I've had cortisone shots. I've had steroid shots in my neck, back. I've had 2 epidurals. I've done it all. And this is by far the best. And the CBD bomb, too. That's no joke. My neighbor's a Vietnam veteran, and I slapped it on his neck, and he's like, whoa, hey. So, you know, that's a good thing, too. I don't need Banamine anymore. That's the 2 cc's of Banamine in the Coors Light can ain't going to work anymore. If I could rodeo, that'd be my plan. If not, I'm good with it, too, because I do believe in signs, you know, because there might be some young guy out there that needs it more than me, you know.